to think it was going to be like an Amanda Waller type of character.
Exactly.
And we got like a Trump with a wig. But like just fighting impeachment. Yeah, so like your daughter stubbing her toe it's her Hiroshima.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a insensitive way to put it, but
You know?
yes.
Movie Addicts Anonymous.
Welcome back to episode 1.
Movie Addicts Anonymous, where every media junkie's welcome. I'm Jay. This is Preston.
Hello.
We are very excited to talk about Thunderbolts. I cannot believe Thunderbolts is a thing.
It was good.
It was amazing. Like, my expectations for Thunderbolts actually like were kind of like middle of the road. I think with what everyone's been feeling with Marvel in general lately. I think it was a little higher than, but definitely than Captain America, but the movie exceeded it. Like all of my expectations.
Far exceeded expectations.
Yeah. What were you thinking going into this movie? Like, were you thinking it was gonna be?
I mean, I was expecting something like Suicide Squad for DC, but
yeah, I want to get into that too. So that's what I really really enjoy about this movie is that they didn't just follow like a Suicide Squad movie. Like it wasn't just Marvel Suicide Squad. Like it was actually, she didn't even want them to team up.
it was heartfelt too.
Yeah. Like I like that they were all meant to die and they chose the team. Like in Suicide Squad, they're chosen to be a team. In this,
chosen to die.
Yes. In this, they chose themselves to be a team, which I do like that. So it did feel very separated from Suicide Squad in my head because of that. Like the second I realized that she wasn't recruiting them all there to form a team, but to just kill them, I was like, oh, cool. I was like, okay, Suicide Squad, but it's its own thing.
Which is what I thought was happening in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that Valentina was there to recruit all of these misfits.
Me too. I thought, but I think they wanted us to think it was going to be like an Amanda Waller type of character.
Exactly.
And we got like a Trump with a wig. But like just fighting impeachments but yeah, I mean, I liked Val's character though. She was entertaining. I didn't
surprisingly charming.
I didn't like the character obviously because she seems like a shitty person, but like she seems kind of fun though.
Yeah.
Like
in a very toxic way.
Yeah, very toxic. The stats of this movie, Thunderbolts. This movie came out May 2nd, 2025. The budget was $180 million. The opening weekend domestically was $74 million. And then worldwide so far after the first opening weekend, it's made $160 million. So
very close.
Yeah, so it hasn't made its money back, but it definitely will. So it's like, I guess this would technically be considered a flop in like Marvel standards because normally they make their money back opening weekend. But I'm not worried about this movie. I think it's going to make at least $500 million.
I've suggested it to at least 6 people.
Yeah. So I think word of mouth is going to really help this film. But
I plan on going and seeing it again with Julia.
Yeah, I want to go see it too. Yeah, because she hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
I would be down to go see it again.
And I think she's going to really enjoy it because she loves Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this felt like.
Yes, it's giving that, but like more scrappy. Like fun.
Yeah.
Like, or not more fun because like it's fun. It's just different, I guess.
It was
more ground level.
Jokey.
Yes.
More ground level, but it had the same kind of feel with the grandiose evil person that could destroy everything in a moment's notice.
Love Sentry. It does have the same feel, but it's just until the end it is more of like a street because the only ghost really even has powers. She even says like, can any of us fly?
Yeah.
Like when they're in the elevator. Yeah. Which I love. So the director was Drake Schreier, and he's known for directing the Netflix show Beef. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I didn't.
It's a good funny show. And then he's weirdly known for like directing a lot of Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco and Kanye West music videos.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that Netflix show, a lot of music videos in this. But I like the director. Like I thought it was done well. But it makes sense that he's done like comedy things before.
Yeah.
And then the head writer was Eric Pearson. He's known for writing Thor Ragnarok. He wrote Black Widow, Godzilla.
Okay.
And then the other writer, Joanna Colo, she is a comedy TV writer. She did like The Bear, Hacks. I really love that show. She also wrote on Beef, BoJack Horseman. Yeah. That's a really good one. So the writing makes sense that they were like, I thought the script was done really well. And IMDb has given it a 7.7 out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is actually higher. Critically, it got 94% positive reviews. and the audience has given 87% positive reviews. But I think that actually kind of makes sense. I think the reason why the audience score would be lower is because no one kind of knows or cares about these characters.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a nerd or a movie critic.
Right. Yeah, the only person to care about was Bucky.
Yeah, or at least someone you remember.
Right, that was introduced previously, except for Yelena.
Except for Yelena.
She's so great.
I know she's I love her so much. But the thing about Yelena is that she's in a lot of things that people didn't see. Like, did people really watch Hawkeye? Did people really watch
Black
Widow? Like, I mean, I know a lot of people did, obviously, but like on the scope of things, of like general audiences, those might be blind spots. Do you have like a score rating out of 10 for this movie yet? Or would you want to do it at the end?
I mean, I'd give it a 9 at least.
Yeah, so
it was really, really. I mean,
yeah,
it might even break 10. Honestly, it's probably breaking my top 10 favorite Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. We definitely need to like. I think our next video should be just doing a full tier ranking of all the movies, and then going forward, we can like update it with new ones.
Yeah,
I think right now, this might change by the end of this conversation, but I think I'm giving it a 9.4. And it is pretty close. Like, I love this movie. And then I'll just say, like, I guess the few things that might have knocked it down a little bit for me, but not a lot. I mean, 9.4 is an amazing score. And then the top build is Florence Pugh, Avi, love her. What hasn't she been in? She was in Dune 2, Oppenheimer, Don't Worry, Darling, all the Marvel stuff, that Little Woman movie, and then Midsommar.
Midsommar was so good.
It's crazy.
It was messed up.
But she's so good in it.
Yeah.
And then second build with Sebastian Stan. He's really just known for being Bucky.
Yeah, he wasn't even in it that much.
No, he really wasn't.
He just was a big name they put on the front.
He was very important to the movie though, for the small amount that he was.
Yeah.
At least to me anyway.
I mean, yeah, he tied in the old with the new.
Yeah.
And he's the big name that they put on the front.
Basically,
so that people will go see the movie. And I think it worked.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think Florence Pugh did that too. And David Harbour, I think, is a big name that pulled people too.
David Harbour is fantastic, especially in this movie.
I mean, he's amazing. But I mean, I think a lot of people love him from like Stranger Things and stuff. But yeah, so Sebastian Stan's really just known for being Bucky, Winter Soldier. And also I did watch him in that like Tommy and Pam show where he played Tommy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, he actually did a really good job playing him. And then Julia Louis-Dreyfus, love her, icon, legend. My boyfriend looked at me and said, "Is that the girl from Seinfeld?" And I said, "Shut up." But he did that last time with is that the guy from Harrison Ford?
Yeah, is that the guy from Indiana Jones?
I'm like, yes. She was a lot like her character in Veep. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I didn't watch Veep, no.
But she did do a different spin. It was more kind of like an evil version of the Veep character. Going to Bob.
That was fantastic. Who played that dude?
It is a Lewis Pullman.
Yeah.
And the only thing I recognize him in his IMDb was he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
I don't remember him in that movie, but he's in that movie. I liked him. I thought he did it really well. I love how much of a people pleaser he was. I love him saying sorry while shooting people. Mm-hmm. Like, I loved the character of Bob. He's like, sorry.
Yeah, and then he misses. He shoots at their feet.
Yeah, he shoots at the guy in this foot. He's like, oh.
She's like, you gotta aim higher, and then shoots him in the chest.
And so, like, okay, before we get right into Bob, my segment I want to start, fist pump moment.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, that wasn't. Okay, there we go. I found it. Fist pump moment. Okay. God, I'm getting used to the soundboard.
Yeah. There we go. Now it's appropriate.
Okay, now it's the fist pump. The fist pump moment of the movie is that moment in the movie when you literally fist pump. You're so excited, and you just kind of like stop. You look around. You're like, I'm so excited to watch the rest of this movie. Like, I'm so glad I'm locked in. And a lot of movies have like many, and I want to like hone into like one. What would be your main like fist pump moment in this movie?
I don't know. I want to hear yours first.
Mine is that fight scene when they fight each other in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is tied with Bucky's intro, like on the bike, the Terminator reference.
It was so good.
I mean, but that opening scene, like if you really dissect that scene, it was done so well because they were all like targeted towards each other. So it was, Yelena was there to get Ghost.
Right.
And Ghost was there to get Taskmaster.
Yep.
Taskmaster was there to get Yelena. And then Walker was there to get Yelena. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like this perfect circle. And I remember there was one shot.
Taskmaster was there to get.
Yeah, did I say that wrong?
Agent?
Oh yeah.
Something?
American
Agent.
I just call him
US
Walker.
Agent.
Yeah,
US Agent.
yeah, U.S. Agent. Yeah, I couldn't think of his like comic name. There was one shot where like they followed the path of like who's targeting who with a knife. Like they showed a knife and like throw it at one, and then he caught it, and then like he threw it to her, and then and it was so cool, and it was like following exactly who was killing who, and then like it was a very hectic scene, but it was easy to follow, and you knew who was fighting who, and it was really cool, and they were all like, Val picked the right people to go up against each other.
Oh yeah, she's a complete sociopath.
I know, she really
absolutely understood each of their weaknesses.
Yeah,
and it worked. She pitted them against each other perfectly.
She did, and it worked. And then I cannot believe Taskmaster died that quickly. That was wild.
It was kind of weird how quick she died.
I didn't believe it at first. I was like, she must be like superhuman somehow, right?
You said in the movie, you're like, oh, it's Taskmaster.
Yeah,
she'll be fine. Walked up to her. It was weird.
Well, the way it was done too is like,
I guess she got distracted by Yelena.
Yeah, she got distracted by Yelena, and she, with the like quantum phasing or whatever that like Ghost does, it was the, again, perfect person to go up against her because
you can't see what you can't mimic what you can't see.
Yes, yeah, you can't, and there's no way for her to, because I think it's established she can't mimic supernatural power, so she couldn't mimic like temporal phasing or whatever Ghost does. She had one line when she was like, "I'm not here for you." That was her one line.
Yeah.
And then she was killed. But I do like how Yelena was like, respect her.
Yeah.
Like, because
but moved on very quickly.
Well, yeah, because I mean it's Yelena.
Yeah. I think I had a like pre-fist pump moment where she was just kind of going through the motions at work. She was like, "Oh yeah, it's the same thing every time." Like,
in the like a very opening. Okay.
She was just kind of bored. You could tell how like.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, because that's when I walked in because I was like a few minutes late.
Yep. But you didn't miss the thing.
Yeah, and really. I sat. Yeah, I was like, I like literally opened, and I sat down, and I was like, I'm already hard. Like it was. Yeah, it was. She's so badass. Yeah.
But she was just kind of going through the motions the whole time, and just like, yep, you shoot, I dodge.
Yeah.
And there's always a speech.
I like the whole like premise of the movie of like, is the darkness in you and you're activating it, or is it like something else? Like is it an actual like void taking over?
And it played with mental illness.
What was your,
so that was like my pre-fist pump moment.
Okay,
like, oh, she's such a badass, but she's literally just going through the motions.
Yeah.
My fist pump moment after they had escaped, Red Guardian is riding up in his limo, and he's like, Yelena,
yeah, that's
Yelena,
a good.
Don't go in there. They're going to incinerate you.
I know. They're like, who is that? She's like, no one.
No one. Just ignore him. And he's like in the middle of the desert, and
in his suit.
It just set the tone. Like they had little jokes before then, but that was like the first like actual comedic relief moment.
Yeah, and that is a really good fist pump moment. Like because to me at that point in the movie too, like I was like, do you know like what from a screenwriting standpoint a bottle episode is or something of a TV show?
Huh?
So like when you're writing a TV show and you want to do a bottle episode, it's like, did you ever watch Friends?
Oh yeah, a lot.
So every Thanksgiving episode was a bottle episode where like all the characters are like crammed into like Monica's apartment for the whole episode. Mm-hmm. And that's what this movie felt like in the beginning when they were in that bunker. I was like, is this going to be kind of just like a bottle episode movie where they're just in this bunker the whole time? And then so when they finally got out and I realized we had a lot of the movie left, I remember I was so that is a really good fist moment because that was me of like, cool, we're actually going to go do stuff. Like at first I was like, are we just going to be like trying to get out of this like basement the whole movie? Because they were in there quite a while.
Yeah.
And then once they finally got out and he showed up, I was like, ooh, now the movie's really starting.
It felt like a dungeon crawl. But a reverse dungeon crawl because we started at the bottom.
Yeah, and they were literally inching up. So
you had to really use D&D moments to like, oh, well, how do we get out of this tunnel? We don't have a rope.
But I will say though, is that I was still up until that moment, I was still very impressed with the movie. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, if they successfully do like a bottle episode movie where like the whole cast is just like in this one like building, this would be cool. Because I wasn't bored in the first half.
No.
I just remember just thinking like, oh wow, they've been in here a while. And then they got out. I was like, oh. Yeah, that is a great fist pump moment. And then of course Bucky, when he showed up on the bike. That's another fist pump moment for me.
Oh, the Terminator reference? Yeah.
Yeah, when he showed up on the bike, he like flips the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that cool move when he like grabs the chain. It was so sick. I mean, it was
the sound effect.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Of him just punching into the ground and then
yeah. It was
the thing just flips over.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
It was so awesome. And then it cuts to like the walker and he's just like, yeah, and then the bomb hits. He's like, yeah, oh, and then they blow. Like he had a lot of good comedic moments too.
Oh, yeah. You were saying that he like grew on you the whole episode. Like,
yeah, he did.
The at the start of it, you were like, "Ah, oh, classic white guy."
And yeah, I know. Literally,
like as you go on, he gets
yes
a little bit more depth, and you understand why he's a dickhead.
Yes, and it expanded on from the person I knew from that show.
Yeah, especially because he knows he fucked up. Like,
yes,
hard.
That's the thing is that like I felt like he is like taking accountability for what he did, and
in a way,
well, in his way.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't mention it at all.
No,
and then when it gets mentioned, he's like, he just looks at her and he's like,
yes. So like, it's not that he's like it's more of like, I guess he's like kind of accepting his fate of it.
Yeah,
and he's not just like the pissy pants that he can't be the real Cap. He's kind of like, okay, like I'm never gonna be the Captain America again, but like,
or a father.
Yeah, or a father. But I can do this at least. And like, yeah, I thought he was pretty funny. I mean, obviously he is still an anti-hero, like all of them really are. But I do like him so much more than I did at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, he choked a dude to death. Almost decapitated him.
Or he did decapitate him.
Did he take his head
with
off?
The shield? Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't get left on a good note.
No, and then Val recruited him.
Right. She's like, oh, perfect. I love this guy.
Yeah.
I can definitely use him to...
And that's so interesting that, like, because they purposely did this. They purposely made us think that she was slowly recruiting a team. Mm-hmm. And then to just be like, I'm getting impeached, so just burn it all down. Like, that's the movie, which is so funny. But I guess, and then asterisk, the new Avengers. Because even at the premiere... the cast, there was like a sign that said Thunderbolts asterisk, and it showed them like peeling it away and it said New Avengers behind it. So like, it was a kind of a good ploy because I truly didn't think that this movie would end with the New Avengers lineup. Like I thought they would like just be their own anti-hero group.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I was expecting Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and I was expecting them to die.
But then we got New Avengers, which is so cool. And I do like
in a very haphazard way.
Yeah, but it kind of like does give New Avengers in a way of like they're not kind of fully accepted by like Cap and like Sam's kind of not returning her calls or whatever, like in the post-credit scene.
Yeah. Oh, they're suing us.
Yeah, they're suing. Yeah. Yeah. And then he got all the brand deals.
Yeah, and then he comes in with the Thunderbolts.
It was giving Fantastic Four
Avengers.
2. Yeah, Avengers with a Z. And but that's kind of what the New Avengers where they're kind of just like the new, like, I mean, not like this ragtag, but it was more of like the not as serious Avengers group. So it is, I like how this is a very cool adult way they could have done it. And I just wasn't expecting that at all. And I think that's what I liked about this Marvel movie is that it didn't play out how I thought at all. The whole movie. I didn't know, like, I didn't think Taskmaster was going to die right in the beginning. I didn't like, there was so much of it. I didn't think that like Yelena was going to be playing the embarrassed girl like in front of her peer. Like I didn't even like, but I love that that's a thing. But
like I said, I had no expectations of the movie. I saw the trailer and I remembered whatever shadow thing the Void did. All those people.
Oh yeah, it looked like Hiroshima.
I remember seeing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I remember seeing that in the trailer, and that was the only thing I remembered. So it kept popping up in my mind until that started to happen. I was like, oh, when is that going to happen? Who is that? I thought they were going to be fighting some crazy like Spot character, you know, like
or like the end of Suicide Squad, like a giant,
right, or like a giant alien that was just like annihilating people, and I didn't understand until I actually saw the Sentry suit.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, it's Sentry."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, Sentry has something to do with like the Void."
The Void, yeah.
But I didn't know anything else besides that because I literally only know those characters from Marvel Snap.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, okay, yeah.
I have just seen them and they're together in Marvel Snap.
Yeah.
And I had no idea why, what they did,
Yeah.
anything. Besides that Sentry
cool.
is extremely powerful.
Yeah, he's like the Superman of Marvel.
And the Void is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
I didn't know
he's like the
anything
Doomsday.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically I happened to actually read the original Sentry run that came out in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And which I don't like it, so I think a lot of this is like loosely based on that, obviously, but that he in the comics he was an addict, and I like how he was a meth addict, and like this was the first time we saw like not even a superhero, but any type of like superpowered person on the big screen dealing with like mental illness or like addiction, really, like
yeah, I mean
on Marvel.
They touched on it briefly with Iron Man and his alcoholism,
very briefly,
but very lightly. It wasn't really a sticking point for him. This was
because I think Iron Man 3 was supposed to be his like rock bottom, but it was comparatively to like the rock bottom of Tony Stark in the comics. Like there's that iconic comic book cover when he's like hammered in the suit, and so I do like how they went more real with this Bob character of that, like. Because that's what, so the character was basically created of like, let's make a Superman in Marvel, but he doesn't have the morals of Superman.
Right.
It's just some random addict off the street given Superman powers.
Is that the way it was in the comic run?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And so the Void is like, it's like a physical representation of his mental illness and his addiction.
Yeah.
It was more like it represent, and that's why I think I mean, I wasn't an addict in 2000 when I read this, but I just remember like, think it was a really compelling story of Sentry. And that he was fighting the Void in himself. And so it's also kind of a mystery of the Void of like, you don't know if it came from him or if it was like activated from the serum or if it was like a Phoenix type of thing that took over him.
Right.
And so I don't know how they're going to take, because they didn't really answer that in the comics. So I don't know what we're going to going forward with the Void, because it seems to still be in him.
Yeah. He noted at the end, in the end credits scene, that when he activates his powers, that's when the other side comes back, and he doesn't really know how to control that.
Yeah, and so that was kind of the thing, is that like and I also liked how they introduced or had him in the beginning not remember who he was, and at the end forget. So in the comics, what happened was that he's so powerful that he actually like changed time. So like he was always there. They kind of retconned him in. And when they made 2000, they're like, well, he's always been there, but everyone forgot about him. And like, so the new Avengers Tower is actually Sentry Tower in the comics and Watchtower, which so I think that's
the way it is now.
And but it was like, but it was always that way. But people just didn't remember it because it was like the past was like rewritten, and he was like retconned into it of always being there. So I like.
And was that a Sentry power? Because he seems to have just random powers.
Again, it's like a comic book, so it's not explained fully. I'm sure they'll probably like hone in on it on Avengers Doomsday. Chicken before the egg. So we don't know if it was like him that retroactively put him in there, or he was always there and no one remembered. It's interesting to see. I don't know if they're gonna do that, like retroactively put him throughout the MCU history, but just incorporating some type of memory loss with him. Like I like how they brought that into it, because I don't know.
He was the only one that forgot, though.
That's what I'm saying. So
in the MCU, at least.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, is that I don't think it's going to be exactly like the comics. Right. I think it's going to be like they did their own twist on memory loss or whatever. Now it's just like him.
They just referenced.
Yeah. Like I think that's what it was more of like.
Seems like there's a lot of just referencing comic material lately instead of actually pulling directly from it.
Yeah, which I don't mind, honestly, because it's like
it needs to be its own thing.
Yeah, it was cool, and I think they did him very well. I liked Bob a lot. I liked his whole journey. I like that, like the ending is you like to not fight. That was like the whole moral was to actually they stopped,
just accept,
and they physically were holding him back, and it was just like having people there helping him, like instead of holding it all in.
It felt really terrible. when they fell back out of this void space. And it was a really, really touching moment.
It was.
Right? Because they were all, it was, I remember a couple of us were crying.
Yeah.
And all I could think was to say, this is a weird orgy moment.
Yeah, I know. It did look like
it looked like they were all in bed together and like they had just finished fucking.
Yeah, they really did when they all were like laying there for that.
It took everything in me not to make that joke in the theater because everyone was dead silent.
I know.
It was a really emotional
moment.
Could
hear a pin drop in that theater. So the void itself looked really creepy and cool.
Like the little pin
just
the
eyes. Little thin eyes.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Star Trek guy with the little toggle eyes.
And I think I like that effect a little better than it just being a silhouette. Mm-hmm. It made it creepier to like know that. And then there was one point it showed a mouth at one point when he's like hitting him and he kind of laughs at him. He's like, and Yelena's like, that's what he wants.
Right.
And he like laughs and you see like, a little bit of like a mouth or something. It was so eerie. I was like,
it was like a Vanta black. Like you could see when he turned certain ways, it would catch light like on his nose or like on a piece of his cheek.
It was like
his hair, like you could see through the little strands and stuff. It wasn't like a full silhouette. Like it seemed like they might have actually painted the actor in Vanta black.
Yeah.
And like it would catch light at certain points.
And I think they probably did that intentionally because it felt more of like, instead of it just being a silhouette, it felt like light was trying to escape. It was like it didn't want to show any light, so like the tiniest amount of eyes it showed because it's like the void's trying to suck everything in.
Right.
So that's why it kind of felt like you're just kind of seeing glimpses of light in the void.
I really liked whatever they did for that. I don't know if it was CGI or if it was actual, physical effects. It was really well done.
Yes.
And creepy. It really towed the line between making it feel like a real person and this otherworldly entity.
And the I don't know what we're calling it, like it's not snapping, but the voiding or whatever, like when people would disappear.
Yeah. The Hiroshima-ing.
Yes, it felt like, and I think I saw an interview somewhere where the director said they took inspiration from the Hiroshima, like shadows or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the way it was done. It was so like quick. People would, like that little girl when he when he saved her, Red Guardian, and then she just like poof. That was crazy.
It was so obvious that was gonna happen too.
And no, and I knew she was gonna come back, obviously too. But it was just like
a child. They couldn't just.
I know.
A child.
The thing is though is that they were like they specifically showed her reappear. But like, what about the people that like were in the helicopter?
Yeah, I thought about that after too.
Like Andy from True Blood, that guy in the shooting in the helicopter and got poofed. So does he just reappear in the air,
or does he reappear in the burning helicopter?
Only
that's
he would
under rubble.
I think he'd reappear where he poofed, or whatever. I'm not calling it poofed, but the little girl did, or I guess wherever the shadow is. So I guess the shadow was on the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, that dude's fucked.
So I feel like the little girl's fine, but I feel like a lot of people still got insanely injured.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was definitely collateral damage.
And what was her like hell or whatever? Like her.
Yeah.
Her void
probably
room.
like falling off her bike or like.
Yeah.
Like
nothing too bad.
Yeah. She seemed to have a loving mother that like came right to her aid as soon as she came back. And
yeah.
That's something I really enjoy about having a kid is watching her experience the next worst thing that she's ever experienced in her life. Like when she was a really little baby, it was, oh, I'm hungry. And then I could watch as like the next worst thing that's ever happened to her happen, and I'm like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, that's funny.
And even still, right?
Yeah.
Like one day she might break a leg. I mean, I don't want that to happen, obviously, but I mean that could happen, and that'll be the worst thing that's ever happened to her.
Yeah.
And then it also makes me reflect on like, what's the worst thing that ever happened to me?
Yeah. So like, is that what parenting is? Is just like trying to make the worst thing that ever happens to your kid not that bad?
I mean, that's the goal. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's it. Like, cause like shitty things gonna happen to the kid regardless.
Right. And I think that it's a good lesson in like, tolerance.
Yes.
And like everybody has a window of the worst thing that's ever happened to them, right?
Yeah.
And it feels the same no matter who you are.
Yeah,
it's just some people's real life experience is this much.
Yeah.
And some people's experience is this much on the objective scale.
Yeah.
But the subjective scale, you feel the same.
It's
no
the
matter
same.
what.
It's just like the specifics are different.
So it really didn't matter what she was experiencing, that little kid. It was still as bad as everybody else's, even though objectively it wasn't.
Yes.
She's still, whatever she was going through was the worst thing that's ever happened to her.
Yeah. So like your daughter stubbing her toe it's her Hiroshima.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a insensitive way to put it, but
like, I know that sounds crazy, guys, but just clip that part and put it on TikTok.
Please. Yeah, that's gonna get some views.
I understand what you're saying though, like in the context of that, because like without knowing any more context of what her little world is as a little girl, that's just as bad as someone
she's still gonna cry
that got like mushroom bomb.
Really terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Tragedy.
Comedy plus time.
Yeah.
Or comedy is tragedy plus time. I got the equation mixed up.
Yeah. So then wait, what is that? So then tragedy is comedy minus time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Comedy minus time is tragedy.
Yeah.
Ghost was kind of like, that was what knocked down this movie a little bit for me. That's not a perfect 10, is that we really didn't flesh out Ghost at all.
No, she wasn't fleshed out in Ant-Man.
I feel like we fleshed out Taskmaster more than her in this movie. Like, because Yelena at least said like she had a rough life and then she died. Like, I feel like that was more of an explanation than Ghost.
Yeah, really the only thing that she kind of touched upon was her suit and why her butt feels like an angle.
Yeah.
You know?
And then she was just used for like the one with superpowers.
Yeah.
Like, so that was my only critique of the movie, is that Ghost just kind of felt there.
She had a weird walk at the end too.
Yeah, like, and I
swung her hips a lot for somebody that's just kind of like walking through.
Yeah, she's being dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I like that actress. She was in a show called Killjoys, which I really liked on Sci-Fi. But I just feel like she was underutilized.
Yeah. But at least for her actual personality.
That's what I mean.
Powers wise, she got used a lot.
Yeah, and she was cool, and her fight scenes are cool and all that. Like, so I do think so. It's not a complete loss. I mean, I'm still giving this movie a 9.4.
Yeah,
but like, it just docks a few points that one of the main characters of the movie just didn't feel fleshed out.
Yep.
Like if she would have died throughout the movie, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
But if any of the other characters died at the end of the movie, I would have been upset.
Yeah.
Except for her. It is a tragic story that happened to her, but like, again, Ant-Man and the Wasp was this weird, like it was supposed to be like a comedy, and like they were trying to add the emotional beats with her and like being like lost in the quantum realm essentially.
Yeah.
But
and not being able to be a part of the physical realm either.
Yeah, and then she ended up like, it was once Wasp's mother came back from the quantum realm, she like did something and like healed her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, she healed her.
Yeah.
Why does she need the suit?
I guess because it looks cool now.
No, she specifically referenced that the suit is what keeps her from phasing out of existence.
Let us know in the comments if you guys remember exactly, like, if she's healed or if, like, I don't know. Because she
would earnestly like to read that comment.
Yeah, and then we saw, like, Walker's emotional journey, I guess, of, like, him just, like, doom scrolling instead of looking at his kid.
Mm-hmm. Right. He left even though he should have been kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
And then, you know, she obviously filed for some sort of divorce and child arrangement, and he can't see his kid. And the state took away his right to see his kids because he's a shitty dad. And, and then he looks at her, and he when that gets brought up, Bucky brings it up, like, yeah, I know the state doesn't let you see your kids. It doesn't give you an excuse, right? And he's like, he looks at Yelena, and he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And not whatever, but like, yeah, that's the real story, you know, because she looks at him like, oh shit, is that true? Like, I was asking you about your family before, you didn't say a word. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, and well, yeah, I mean, that's...
Well, I mean, that's just him. I mean, of course he wouldn't talk about that shit.
Right,
because he wants to seem cool. Like,
he wants to be the Captain America.
Yeah.
He wants to seem like
he does.
He's not.
Oh my God, the interaction I loved was when Bucky and Red Guardian were in the car, and he's like, Red Guardian's like, what super soldier serum you get? And he's like Hydra. He's like, ooh, fancy. He's like, mine's still good though. He's like, we're basically same. Yeah. He's like, I don't know.
We could be like co-leaders.
Yes, like he's so good. I love him so much. But yeah, no, I like that story. That kind of a little bit. That was a little bit of a moral story of this movie too. Is that like giving the soldier serum to the wrong person, like giving it to Bob creates the void. Giving it to Walker creates him. Like
Red Guardian creates
him.
Red Guardian.
So it's really like you need to find the Steve Rogers to give the serum to, and I like how it is like it. That's why
the U.S. government did that well.
I know. Well,
the first time
but they didn't want to. Remember, they didn't even want him in the military.
Yeah.
It wasn't by choice.
But I mean, the one guy chose him, right? Like the general.
Yeah, he
did. Tommy Lee Jones.
But he wouldn't have been there if he didn't like sneak into the military or whatever. Because remember, they wouldn't take him.
Right.
Yeah.
But Tommy Lee Jones, he was like, I see something in that guy.
Or I thought it was the scientist that picked him.
I think it was both of them.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because Tommy Lee Jones, he tested him, right? He threw that fake grenade. That was like his defining moment. It was like, watch this.
Yes.
And everybody else bolts and
he jumps on
it.
And he's like,
that's like, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the skinniest dude. And he's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, so I mean, by chance, they happen to pick the right guy for that. But like, other than that, I don't think it hasn't. I like how it makes it, because at this point, there's just like so many super soldier serums out there.
Right.
Well,
I like not anymore. Ever since Falcon. Yeah, but I mean, there's.
But I like
everybody there is wrong too.
Yeah, and so I like how it makes it feel more rare that like you can't just give anyone the serum.
Right. Because they won't use it right.
It's like it's giving like Thor's hammer. Like you can't, like not anyone can just wield it. So I do like that aspect of it. And I'm looking forward to see like Walker's grow. I can't believe he's like actually in the new Avengers now. It's so funny, but I'm excited to see his like growth in the future movies and see like he's gonna be funny like up against like Brie Larson or something like in the Avengers.
Yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be an Avengers versus New Avengers type deal.
I'm sure there's gonna be like some type of like
Civil War 2.
Yeah, and then they team
Civil
up.
War 2.
Oh, Civil War 2 would be crazy.
Oh,
yeah,
would be that's one of the only ones I actually
could you imagine like it would be like Bob versus Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
He's so good.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And then the Void comes out and just starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Brie Larson has to relive like.
Yeah, because I wonder because if we're thinking about like who would be on Sam Captain America's team right now, it would be Sam. I guess not. Weird, Bucky's not a part of it. But
yeah, no, Bucky would be part of the New Avengers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird but
anyway. Only kind of out of 4.
Yeah, there might be.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Depending on how Fantastic Four goes too.
Yeah.
Who knows where they're gonna land?
Well, it seems like they're gonna interact with the New Avengers first.
Right.
Which
is really fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm so pumped for it. Like that post-credit scene was wild.
Yeah.
But okay, but if we think about like there's Sam, Captain America. There's his like Red Wing or whatever, that guy.
Hey, can we put in a spoiler alert before like
Yeah, we can.
editing?
Yeah.
Before we mention Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, so right now it would just be Sam, Red Wing.
I love that you include Red Wing.
not Red Wing. Is the guy. I know. Of course I include Red Wing because I love him so much.
Red Wing so much.
He's my favorite character. No, in the MCU. We got to do a character ranking. Mine's Red Wing.
Right at the top.
No, like his Falcon, the new dude.
Yep.
So it'd be like
that guy.
It'd be that guy, the guy that like almost died at the end of Captain America 4. Him, and then I guess Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
The Guardian, Shang-Chi. Doctor Strange. Oh, he's out fighting in the multiverse.
Yeah, he went off with his woman.
He's got the third eye and that weird woman. And
so
that's a whole thing we haven't even touched.
Yeah, so he's not part of the Avengers right now. So it would be like them versus that would be interesting.
Would it be street level or
I guess Hulk?
I feel like Civil War 2 was it was in the comics. That was one of the only ones I actually read. In the comics, it was like about future stuff.
Yeah, it was very
and like stopping people from doing things before they do things.
Yeah, it was. So
it was more cosmic.
Yeah, so I don't think they would do that. They would probably keep it more lower level if they did. Like in Doomsday, they're gonna have like a little butting heads moment, and then they'll obviously be like, okay, we gotta go stop Doomsday.
Yeah.
Like, why does it look like Tony Stark? Like, what is gonna happen? I'm so confused by that. But
this movie makes me excited for the future of the MCU.
Yeah, it did really well. I love the reveal of. I love how Val's always 10 steps ahead. I love that she just like tricks them into a press conference and they're like, "We're the new Avengers."
Yeah, this movie brings it to a ground level that is still feels like there's high stakes for the world.
Yes.
And I think that that's something that the past movies haven't done very well. All the rest of the movies now feel like set up for this movie because there was so much that had to do with the other movies. Even the last movie felt like set up for this movie.
Yeah, it really did.
They had mentioned the old president.
I'm glad that they mentioned him because like his name's like that. His nickname's Thaddeus Thunderbolts Ross, and that was originally
Red Hulk was supposed to be part of it.
The well, in the comics, Thunderbolts is exactly just Suicide Squad for Marvel,
right?
And they're called the Thunderbolts because Thaddeus puts them together. Ross puts them together. So I like in this they kind of winked and nodded at that. This like is kind of their version of it, but they're kind of just jumping over Thunderbolts being a thing and just going to New Avengers. Which
Thunderbolts even was a joke, like
and it was
a soccer team.
When I love that it was just a placeholder name for New Avengers, but they didn't want to do because they want to wait for New Avengers. So yeah, I mean,
so is the title of this movie Thunderbolts asterisk New Avengers?
I think it is, yeah.
So when it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever they're doing now,
I'm thinking I don't know
if they changed.
They didn't on
Captain
IMDb.
America and the Winter Soldier, because at the end of that they did the same thing.
Yeah,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They changed it to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, yeah. So no, they didn't change it then. So I think like going for it's just based. I think it was just more of like a we tricked you and like the movie title isn't different, but like the group of people you thought you were gonna get Marvel Suicide Squad, but you got New Avengers. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and
it was done well because then I think a lot of people probably were thinking like they're just gonna copy Suicide Squad, and I'm glad they did. Didn't feel like Suicide Squad at all.
No, it felt more like Guardians of the Galaxy.
It did. It felt like
a group full of misfits has to fight a supernatural power, and
and I like how a lot of it came down to Yelena figuring out what to do, like figuring out that she needed to go talk to Bob and like calm him down that way. It was cool that she just kind of walked right into the void, like she knew. Because she was already in her own void. And I like
she's the one that mentioned it in the first place. She's the one that talked him down from the ledge when they were in the pit.
Yeah.
Was like talking to him about the void. That's when I remember the void being mentioned, was when
because he says it, because I remember that and that's when it started to dawn on me like who it was. And then when she goes like, yeah, sometimes it just feels so dark. It feels like he goes a void. And then and she said, yeah. And then she's like, but I just like push it deep down. And they like moved on. Yeah. And then later she's like, you can't push it deep down. So I do like that that's how she dealt with it. And that scene with her and Red Guardian, like that emotional scene on the sidewalk in New York was done really well too. And then when she's giving that like monologue, to, like yelling at the group of them, and then that extra walks by. Did you see that?
Dude, I laughed so hard.
Yes. I wonder if they planned that.
I don't know, but that extra,
that was great. She deserves a raise.
Yeah, absolutely. She deserves royalties from this movie specifically.
That was so good. Because it was such like an intense moment of Yelena just being like, I give up, we suck. And then the lady's
exactly what a normal person would have done. They wouldn't have just kept walking past. Like I would have looked back and like, what the
they're
going
like,
on there?
I did like that. That felt like a little fourth wall breaky, a little bit of just like girl, tiny little things that like I feel like rewatching this movie, there's gonna be a lot of things we miss. Like that you can pick up on.
Yeah, I'm excited to go see it again.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be really good. Red Guardian's origin, his like character arc throughout the movie, he got on the Wheatie box.
Yeah,
he finally wanted to get on the Wheatie box.
And nobody recognizes him because
no one cared.
Fucking mask.
I know, no one cared. Oh, and the mask thing,
the mask and the cap thing. That was really funny.
That was so funny. She's like, "Do you like the helmet?" And he's like, "It's not a helmet."
But I mean, yeah, I like it. Yeah. She's like, well, then good.
Yeah. He's like, I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, good. You think and then it's cool. That's nice.
And then they cut later, and he has a different hat. Yeah. That was. That's what I mean by like I love like he's just one of those like straight guys where just like he's trying so hard to like, and you're like you just can't. Like, it's hilarious. Like I do, and the thing is like he's one of the characters that like I love to hate because like at the end of the day I do think he is a shitty person.
Yeah.
but he's like, at least he's like funny about it. Like he's kind of redeemed himself to like the point of like, not that I like think he's great, but it's just like, I don't think he's gonna just go murder a bunch of people now.
Right.
But still, it's not saying much. Like,
yeah, I mean, he still absolutely could.
yes,
right. Like,
but he just
has that.
But
capacity.
he just seems like less angry. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Red Guardian though, like I like his full because like yeah, the opening scene when he's just like puts like
dude,
dish soap in his mouth
to brush his teeth was disgusting.
And then so that change, it was so funny. He's like, I'm doing really well.
Yeah,
and she's like, are you fulfilled? He's like, no.
Yeah. She's like, you just said you were fulfilled. He's like, look around. Does this look like a person who's been fulfilled?
I know. And I
would burn the cities to the ground to work for Valentina.
I know. She's like, I think I'm gonna quit. Yeah, I love too that like he says like he's like, yeah, I drive important people around, and like
he actually does.
Yeah, because you think they're like he's just like bullshitting, and then it reveals
lives in DC. So
So I mean, it makes sense, and then
find a real Uber, then you hire that guy.
And they did it so well of like it showed her, and then they get out and it pans to him. I was like, wait, what? He is driving her. It was so good, and then he's just so late to save her.
So late, like they had already escaped. It was the next day.
Yeah. I mean, he tried.
He was late because he drove the whole way from DC to fucking Nevada or whatever.
In that limo thing.
Yeah.
So then they're like, step on it, and it like max out at 50.
Yeah, it took him a day and a half to get there.
Yeah.
He started immediately. He's like, I haven't slept.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe I should drive.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
And then that scene when they're all tied up from Bucky. And then he's like, Bucky gives that like really dramatic pep talk, and they're all sitting there, and all of a sudden he just goes, yeah. He just starts screaming because he's been waiting to be in the Avengers his whole life. Yeah. And he like sees like a Winter Soldier there. He's like, it was so fun. And then like the Ghost or whoever next to him just like yeah. I really think he was a standout of the movie overall.
Like, Yelena
I mean, Yelena. It was Yelena's movie.
Yeah, it was Yelena's movie, and again, she did such a good job. Yes. I love her so much.
Me
her
too.
Character arc and the emotion she can put into this person that isn't supposed to have emotion.
I know, and she does it so well.
And I mean, she was my favorite in Black Widow too.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
with Red Guardian coming second only because he's so funny. And David Harbour's great, but like he's a goofy dad. That's all, but with prison tattoos. And from Russia.
I love that he's kind of like our new generation Thor of like this Avengers.
Yeah,
he's kind of like the Thor.
Yeah,
and
a dude out of his element completely.
Yeah, and I love that she like Yelena's kind of like the leader of the Avengers of the group.
No, I mean she takes the mom role for sure. Like she's like got the clipboard and she's like, okay, we need to do this, this.
Yeah.
Oh, did we call that guy? Like, who's suing us now? Sam?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. We'll take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah. Like she really is like the leader, and I love and it's funny too because like Walker's supposed to be, but he's just kind of sitting there like making jokes. Mm-hmm. So like,
and then Sentry being the strongest person can't even use his fucking powers.
Yeah, so he's like what their new Vision.
Yeah,
but can't use them. Yeah, like so it's kind of funny. It is like they in a way they are like the anti-Avengers because it's like Bob is like Vision that can't use his powers or he kills everyone. Mm-hmm. Like Cap is like murdered someone publicly. Like the Thor is just like a drunk like trying like to be on Wheaties boxes.
And Black Widow's our new leader.
Yeah,
and
then Bucky
flying by the seat of her pants because she has no idea
she doesn't know what's going on. And then like Ghost and Bucky are just like
there.
Yeah. So I mean,
Bucky's even really there, you know?
Yeah, because like, so what is he? He's kind of be like the war machine of the old Avengers, where he's kind of tied into the government, but there a little bit. What's that?
I don't know. Phone.
Oh, it was a phone. Okay, yeah. We pretty much covered everything. Should we talk about the post-credit? Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I already covered it.
We already covered
Fantastic Four with their rocket ship, their Eiffel Tower rocket ship.
Basically, that's all it showed at the end.
Yeah.
And so that means that they came to our dimension for some reason. And I guess we're probably going to figure that out in the next Fantastic Four.
Or time traveled.
Do you think it's like, I don't think they're
old suits.
But I don't.
The whole thing is that it's the first family, right?
Yes.
And it is the original suits from the comic books, from their original run of Fantastic Four's first family.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, it could be multidimensional, it could be time travel. Either way, they're coming from outer space.
I think it's multidimensional because I don't.
Oh, they mentioned it at the end.
They did say it was multidimensional
spacecraft. Yeah,
and I also just the Fantastic Four, like the trailer looks like a different world. It doesn't look like our past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's an alternate reality where it's like our past but future. It's like the Jetsons world. That's what the trailer kind of gives to me. So I think it is, and also it wouldn't make sense that no one remembers them from the 60s in our time, in like our MCU.
Right.
So it probably is. But then that lens, like, I wonder if we're gonna see like our versions of Fantastic, like if there's gonna be like a Reed Richards of our universe
that doesn't have powers, probably.
Yeah, like that'll be cool if we ever see that.
Yeah,
because like
Ben Grimm and
like suits to all of like like there should be versions of them in our universe,
right? Just maybe not super powered. Just like there wasn't really
like
a Wolverine, an X-Men,
or at least yet. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that works, but
I mean, how does anybody?
Well, because I guess if it's like if the multiverse is random, like our universe could just be the random one where like they died in childbirth or whatever, like never were born.
Yeah, like the mutant gene never came about, except it did because they've been mentioning it for Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
being a mutant, and
that's what I was thinking too when I was watching this. I was like, is Bob going to be a mutant? So I was like, that would have been cool. I was excited for that too. I was like, are we going to get our kind of first real like mutant? And then no, I like that it was still just like a metahuman. But I like to do like box office predictions, but I don't know what movie's coming out next. So let's do the next Marvel movie. What do you think? And I want to write it in here.
What is the next Marvel movie?
Fantastic Four.
Is it?
Yeah, this summer.
Oh, this summer?
Yeah, it comes out in like a month or two. Isn't that exciting?
A month?
Yeah. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, we get
so
Fantastic.
Excited.
Yeah, it's coming out this summer. So what are your like predictions for opening weekend? For reference, this movie made 160.
So is this just predictions for opening weekend then?
Yeah.
I'll say it does just as well opening weekend.
Okay, you're going to keep it at 160?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go.
What's the budget? Do you know what the budget is for Fantastic Four? I feel like Fantastic Four is going to take more of a budget than this movie.
Especially just, I was going to say paying Pedro Pascal, but I guess like the other actors are pretty big in this movie. Like Florence Pugh's pretty big now.
Sure, but it's the combination of running Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And it's the first Fantastic Four done by Marvel exclusively, which the past ones have been historically terrible. So I feel like more people are excited to see Marvel stab at it since they've done so well with everything else.
Well, okay, so it's rumored to be between 200 to 250 million. So I guess that's a good way to put it. So I was gonna go with 200 million opening weekend, and then how I want to go forward with this is like the winner, like whoever's closest, gets to guess first next, or is like gets to guess last next time. You know what I mean?
Picking where I am for opening weekend.
Okay.
I mean, Fantastic Four is it's a bigger name. More people know it.
Oh, definitely, and then Thunderbolts. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, especially with this one doing so well.
And it's gonna be a summer movie.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 200. You go 160. And overall, I gave it a 9.4. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 9 or a 10, but I was sticking with whole numbers. You went for decimal points.
Oh yeah, should we not do decimal points?
I don't know. I think decimal points are good, especially at the end. Maybe give it a whole number first and then decimal points at the end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you gave it a 9.4. I'll give it a 9.6.
9.6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that your criticisms of Ghost's character are legitimate.
To knock it down a little bit.
Just a
little bit, and it didn't even like really affect the experience of the movie. It's just if
it would have been nicer to have a little bit more. But I mean, it was a long movie too.
It was.
I don't know that they could have fit.
They couldn't have. But I mean, if I'm sitting here like literally critiquing the movie, then that would knock it down.
Small.
This movie was awesome. So let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. And we're going to be back doing an entire MCU ranking of the franchise. And once Preston has like one more episode left of Daredevil Born Again, we will finish that out too, because I finished the season. It was great. I'm so excited to see where we're going. So we're going to do an episode about that. But yes, we're in our Thunderbolts era. This was so fun.
Yeah.
Yes. And we'll see you next time. We need like a closing outro thing, or like a saying to say at the end. Don't be gay. No, that's going to get us canceled.
That's bad.